them with the message that you are spreading. Alex wrote and asked this question. Tim, in your opinion, why is it so hard to reach your first 100 subs? Great question. I think there's two things that make this difficult, especially for those first 100 subscribers. And then let me give you 7 different ideas of how to fix a lot of this stuff. So number one, I think it's hard because it's probably the first time that you're doing this, right? Like anything that you're doing for the very first time is difficult. You know, any athlete, any business entrepreneur knows this. You know, it takes a lot of repeated practice over and over and over again. It takes a lot of failures. It takes a lot of learning what works, learning what doesn't work, and then evaluating those failures and correcting them, and then moving forward. And it takes a lot of pain, a lot of energy until you finally start growing and getting to success. And as in the case of an athlete, you start winning your races or your competitions, or music is the same way, learning music, like all these things. Being a creator is the same thing. Like you don't get Olympic gold overnight. But as any musician or actor or athlete or business entrepreneur, any of them will tell you though, is the key to this is not to keep repeating your same mistakes over and over and over again, you back. Persistence is important, but continue to learn from channels like this one. Go through the YouTube Creator Academy course. It's free. I'll link to it down in the description below. Make sure you're talking with other YouTube creators, learning from their experiences. You're digging into your YouTube analytics and seeing what information Google can provide for you, and a whole lot more. And this also kind of then goes into my second reason why I think it's really hard, and that is just because there are so many different skills you need to learn and acquire to really successfully grow your channel. For example, there's storytelling, there's pacing, there's YouTube thumbnail design, right? There is video editing, there's body language and nonverbal communication to learn to use on camera, how to write really good, enticing titles, and then once they click, you have to learn how to hook that viewer and keep them watching, and not to mention all the like lighting and sound and camera angles and equipment that just goes with like video production in general. And then there's a whole business side of a YouTube channel and branding that goes into this. There's so much to learn, and no one becomes an expert at any of those things overnight or very quickly. Growing a channel does take time. That first 100 subs does seem to take longer, but then once you get it, you probably figure a few out, and then 1,000 will come a little bit quicker, and then 10,000, and then 100,000 coming. Like once you kind of start learning these skills and applying them to your channel, you do start to grow faster. So let me give you guys 7 different things to really consider and think about, and mistakes to avoid on your channel that could hopefully help you get that 100 subscribers even faster. Number one is you need to have a clear value proposition for a specific target audience. What does that mean? Well, I work with hundreds of YouTube creators one-on-one, and this is one of the most common mistakes that I see, is that they aren't pitching any sort of specific value to anyone in particular. In fact, if I ask them, hey, complete this question for me. You guys should subscribe to my channel because, and most of the time these creators like don't even know how to finish that, because I'm funny, because this is a cool channel, right? You got to be very specific. What value do you propose to deliver to a very specific person? You need to craft and create all of your content, your channel, everything needs to revolve around delivering that value to that specific person, so that when that specific person finds your channel, they're like, oh, where's this channel been all my life? Like, this is what I need. They subscribe, and they watch every single video you do. That piece is so important, guys. That is actually how I start my ebook, 30 Days to a Better YouTube Channel. You can download the first few days completely for free. That really will help you dig into determining your value proposition for our target audience, give you some exercises to work through to help you out. So link to that in the description below, and go download that free sample and get started with that today. Number two, I highly recommend that you research your videos before you shoot them. I work with a lot of creators, and their process for coming up with ideas is just, I think this would be a good idea. But I really think it's a good idea to go to YouTube and maybe do some searches for your idea. How much competition is there? Are there a lot of search results for this? Are there very few? Are these videos that you see that are relevant to the type of topic that you want to make videos on, are they getting a lot of views? Are they getting like a low number of views? And just start kind of evaluating each of your video ideas that you have. And the idea is to make videos that you see ahead of time have the potential to get views. So when you do those searches ahead of time on YouTube, a few tips for you. Number one is you want to look for videos that have a high view count on channels that have a relatively low subscriber count. Finding a video that has 5 million views on a channel that only has 10,000 subscribers is really good, but if that channel has like 10 million subscribers, then you kind of know, okay, that's why they got that many views. You can also go to google.com/trends and see how some of your topic ideas are trending over time. Are they picking up steam and getting more and more momentum, or are they kind of dying off? And so using some of that data, you can then decide which topics that you really want to invest your time into making a video, and when you make it, you already know ahead of time that video has potential to do well. Number 3, another common mistake that I see a lot of small channels making is that I highly recommend that you spend more time crafting better titles and better thumbnails. And it's not like an unknown secret, but a lot of people don't consider that a lot of top YouTube creators actually spend almost just as much time crafting their titles and thumbnails as they do the videos themselves. And the reason for that is pretty obvious once you think about it, is that it doesn't matter how amazing your video is if your title and your thumbnail don't entice them to click in the first place. I highly recommend you watch some videos here on YouTube that just kind of go into some basic design principles as far as like graphic design is concerned, and then also make sure that those thumbnails are very clear, discernible, even from a very small size for mobile devices. Number 4, I think it's really important that you simply ask your viewers to subscribe. When someone gets to the end of your video, hopefully they've enjoyed it, and you want to tell them what action do you want them to take as a result of watching your video. Well, encourage them to subscribe. Not everyone is as familiar with YouTube as you or I might be, and might not naturally think, oh, I could subscribe to this channel. So just asking them, giving them a little bit of a reminder is often a good idea too. Number 5, pay close attention to your audience retention graphs in your YouTube analytics. That graph can teach you so much. It will reveal patterns. If you study them over time across all your videos, you will start to notice patterns. Okay, why are people abandoning my video at certain points? What are some of the common themes and trends I see about when people abandon my video, when their attention starts to drop off? And the more you do that, the more you'll be able to craft future videos going forward to hook those viewers better and to keep them watching longer and longer periods of time on your content, which will give you more watch time and session watch time, which will boost how your videos perform in search and suggested videos, and how YouTube exposes you, and then your channel starts to get a lift and more exposure overall. If you're not familiar with audience retention and graphs, I'll put a link in the description that'll teach you more about that. Number 6, I recommend finding ways to tap into existing communities to get exposure. It's really hard to grow a new community from scratch, so consider making content that taps into other people's communities. For example, maybe make some videos that tap into the Harry Potter community, or maybe into a movie that's coming out or is popular, or celebrities, or even tapping into other YouTube creators communities. I actually did that here on the Video Creators channel. I made a video that reviews Casey Neistat's vlogging setup, so people who are familiar with Casey Neistat are more likely to watch that video and thus get introduced to this channel and get content that's relevant to them as creators, which is my target audience here at Video Creators, as well as sharing a common interest in Casey Neistat and kind of pulls them in. And number 7, study everything you can. When you watch other people's videos on YouTube, try to reverse engineer what's working well for them, what's not working well for them. Pay attention to what titles and thumbnails are you feel like you're most attracted to clicking on, and then ask yourself, why this one and not that one? Pay attention to how different creators hook their viewers in the first 15 seconds of their videos to keep them watching more. Learn design layout principles, learn camera production and video production and editing, and work on your on-camera presence and personality, and so much more. It just takes time, and you can do this. Guys, I know it feels frustrating, and I know maybe sometimes some of you guys are like, you know what, I don't think it's possible anymore to become a YouTube star and grow a YouTube channel, and that's absolutely not true. I work with channels that have gone from 0 channel at all to 16 million views a month in only like 3 or 4 months. Others have gone gone to 20 million views in 9 months. Guys, you can do this. It's still possible. What those channels did to accelerate their learning curve is some of them were publishing 3, 4, 5 videos a day. That's right, every day. I can't do that. Not everyone can do that, but that's what they're doing. They're just accelerating their learning process as fast as possible. Each of them had done crazy amounts of research. They had Excel spreadsheets all mapped out with ideas, and I want to encourage you guys, keep going. And if you feel like you want to quit, I actually have a guide, a YouTube guide to not quitting on your YouTube dreams, because I've been there and I made this video around that same time when I was feeling some of that pressure. So that link is in the description below to go to that video, or a card will pop up here. You can click on that too. One of the awesome things about the video creators community is that there are a lot of creators here who have passed 100 subscribers. And so if that's you, I would love for you to share some of your tips, some of your advice. What did you do that pushed you past that first 100 subscribers? And if you don't yet have your first 100, read the other tips and advice other creators are leaving for you in the comments. You will learn a ton from them. I always learn from them every single week when we do these videos. So thank you guys for helping each other out, supporting each other down there. If this is your first time here at Video Creators, I would love to have you subscribe. Why? Because this channel is going to help you grow your audience. It's going to help you spread your message and reach people who really need to hear what you have to say. So thank you for letting me and this awesome community be a small part of that. Subscribe, and I'll see you guys again next Thursday for another YouTube training video. See you then. Bye. If you are a YouTube creator and you feel like giving up on your channel or on almost anything else in life because it is just really hard and you're not seeing the results that you want, well, today I want to give you guys some ideas of how to push through the dip so you actually meet the dreams and the goals that you have for the content that you're having in your life in general. What's coming up? Hey guys, my name is Tim Schmoyer, and it is Wednesday. Time to give you guys some YouTube tips, ideas, suggestions, mostly advice, which we're going to talk about here today, like we do every Wednesday here on Video Creators. Now, it was like a few weeks ago, I talked about one of my biggest mistakes I made here on YouTube, and that was not understanding the path and the journey that you guys often take as creators. I assumed that your path often started with like a straight upward line over time, where you started and it was like awesome, you know, but I was very wrong, right? And I talk more about why I made that mistake and everything, the implications it has here for this channel. But I want to help you guys think through how you can push through this dip that we talked about in that previous video, which I'll link up around here below. Definitely go check it out, because it is the kind of the context for what we're going to talk about here today. So this is kind of the emotional path that I feel like a lot of creators, and this doesn't have to do just with YouTube, the context here that we're using is YouTube, but applies to almost anything, is, you know, on the feel bad, feel okay, feel great spectrum. You start off on this project, in this case YouTube channel, and you're excited, and you get through this honeymoon period, and over the course of time, you know, then you it starts dipping a little bit, you start feeling uncertain, then you start losing confidence, you start just feeling a state of confusion about what am I doing here, and then depression of like, this was supposed to happen, it's supposed to work, because I see so many other creators, they make it look so easy, you know, and then you get down here and you're like, I just quit. And this, unfortunately, is where most creators stop, right? Like here. And so what happens here on my channel, you guys stop watching Video Creators, you stop investing in your channel, you know, different things like that, because the goals and the dream you had for it don't seem attainable. But let's talk about what happens if you keep pushing through that. And we're going to talk about some practical ways to do this. But if you keep pushing up, you have this like accepting stage where you start becoming accepting of like, okay, this is hard, this is difficult, but I'm not going to let it stop me. And so you start exploring new ways, new ideas of how you can maybe improve and grow and acquire the skills that you need, you know, things like that. And then you start testing the new things that you're exploring. You're like, oh, I'm learning some things now. Like, this is why this happened. I get it, you know? And then you start having this right here, new confidence in your channel and your work in the projects you're working on, and then you can really start taking off. All right? So this is the journey I want to help you guys take here on this channel of Video Creators. Now, I don't want to help you take this part, actually, but just knowing that that's normal, like, I want to see how can I help you guys start going that direction a little bit more, okay? So let me give you guys, like, some 6 quick ideas, and to give credit where credit is due. I learned this isn't original from me. There's a link in the description below that goes to an article on the nextweb.com. You'll learn a lot more about this type of stuff over there. I'm just kind of summarizing it for you here. So number one, and I did say this in my other video that I did the live hangout on air with you guys, like right after we talked about the dip, because so many of you guys are like, yes, that's me, which is a great hangout on air. Pop up around here, go check it out. Definitely, like check it out, totally. I say that because a lot of you just skip over that type of stuff, but I'm telling you, like, it's worth your time to go watch. So, this is, number one, have a bigger purpose, and this is the main thing. Like, this is so key. Like, even forget all the other ones. Like, that is the biggest thing. You know, because a lot of people, a lot of creators, they start YouTube. Their goal is actually like popularity, or hey, I heard I can make money on YouTube. Like, is this a really easy place to make money? Like I've heard, you know, and so that's their goal. And then they soon start to learn, like, oh, if this is how much work I need to put into making money on YouTube, there's probably other places I can go to make money a little bit easier. And a lot of times it's true, you can, you know. But if your goal is to, like, hey, I have a message and I know this can change people's lives, and I really need to get this out there because those people need to hear what I have. Like that's your purpose. Like, this is different. Like the key word here is purpose, not goals. Like, you can have your goals, but you need to have like a vision for what you really want to accomplish and the difference you want to see it make in people's lives. And I think that when you have that, you push through here, because it's not just about you, it's actually about what you're going to contribute to the world and the difference you're going to make, you know. And so I love having that conversation about purpose and vision and direction and everything. Like, that's one of the main things to get excited about actually here on YouTube. But you do need to have a bigger purpose. Number two, so you need to surround yourself with those who have done it. And so one of the things I have, without even like intentionally like orienting it toward here, although it fits perfectly, is like this Video Labs course that I have, which is closed right now, but there's a link in the description below. You can, if you want to learn more about it when it opens up next year again. But that is like a small group of creators, like limited to a small group on purpose, just so we can all go through the process together, get to know each other's channels, what roadblocks are we each of us bumping into, what weaknesses do we have, like what are we really good at, how can we work together to grow. And when you surround yourself with people that have done it, it's like it's energizing, it's motivating, and it's inspiring, and it helps you really keep your eye on what's important while also giving you the training that you need in order to get to that point. So if you don't have this, I know you do, but the business side of things I'm running on, so I need people who know business, and just as a mastermind group, this is actually, how do you view like the roadblocks that you bump into? Are those discouraging to you, or do you see those as challenges, things to conquer, things to learn? What about the opposition that you sometimes maybe feel from other people's or from YouTube in general, or, you know, or from your audience or whatever? Is that something that inspires you to learn how to do better, or is that something like, oh, I tried, it didn't work, you know? And so the mindset here, that is so important. Is the heavy lifting, is that just there to frustrate you and to make you feel like I can't do this and to make you tired? Or is that there to make you stronger and help you like be able to go further and faster later, you know? So that mindset is really key. Number 4 is schedule it. And this is like things that are worth doing in life usually take time and attention, and they rarely just kind of happen on their own, right? And so find times in your schedule where you're going to mark it on your calendar and you're going to make it a priority. And the best way to do this is actually to find time that you already have, rather than trying to eliminate like grocery shopping or, you know, hanging out with friends or whatever the case may be. Find time you already have and schedule it in there, and make sure you have plenty of time to accomplish the task you need to do in order to have that, for you to reach the purpose of why you're doing doing this on YouTube in the first place. 5 is teaches to others. This is kind of a benefit for me because this is my full-time job and has been for several years. But for you, if you have like, maybe you have 100 subscribers, but you know someone, you're a beauty blogger, but you know someone, another beauty blogger who has 5, right? Come along that person who has 5, and you teach them, you know, and find ways you can serve each other that. And then number 6 is put like something in the ground, like if I don't reach this goal by this time, or make this happen, or accomplish that, like I am going to, you know, give X amount of dollars to charity, something like that, or I'm going to, if I do make it, I'm going to go take myself out to that restaurant. You know, have rewards and stuff built in for yourself. Find time that you already have, schedule in there, make sure to make time to accomplish the task you love to do, and someone have that for everyone else reach the purpose. Comment below what other tips and suggestions you have for pushing through that to really get to the goals and the purpose that you So I'm thinking about it. If you like the whiteboard too. So leave those comments down below. If this is your first time here, I would love to have you subscribe. Give you just training, help you grow your YouTube audience, help inspire you, help motivate you to do all this. And I'm going to get YouTube tips on Mondays, Q&A on Thursdays, stuff on Tuesdays, all to help you guys grow your audience so that your message does spread and reach the people who need to be with you. So thank you. With us, subscribe, and I'll see you guys soon. You're a new YouTuber and you have a channel to launch. We tell you exactly 7 things you need to consider before and during and after you launch it and really make it as successful as possible. Hey guys, my name is Tim Schmoyer and it's Thursday, which means it's time to do some YouTube Q&A with you guys like we do every Thursday, just to help you grow your YouTube channels and your audience. Coleman wrote in to ask this question. Great videos, Tim. Would it be better to upload multiple videos when you first start a channel or only one? That's a good question. Let's talk about the overall launch strategy as a whole for a new YouTube channel, and we'll answer that question as a part of it. So there's a couple of foundational things you need to set first. Number 1 is you need to know clearly who the target audience is for your channel. You need to know who cares, literally, like, who is it that cares about your YouTube channel? And you need to make that very specific because you need to make somebody feel like, oh, this channel's for me, I'm so glad I found this channel, like, this person is exactly addressing the problems or the issues or concerns that I've been looking for. You know, you need to do that. If you just have a general channel about gaming or beauty or vlogging and don't know who it is you're specifically targeting, you're going to make it very difficult for who the target audience is for your channel. You need to know how to deliver to that target audience to the content on your channel. We call that the value proposition. Now that answers the question, why does that person care? You know, so you know who cares, but why who cares? Who is it that cares about your YouTube channel? You need to make that very specific because you need to make somebody need to know what value you're delivering for your target audience to consume from it. I don't want you to nail down those 2 things and then third, feel like, this channel's for me, I'm so glad I found this channel, like, this person is exactly addressing the problems and issues and concerns that I've been looking for. You know, you need to do that. If you just have a general channel about gaming or beauty or vlogging and don't know who it is you're exactly against, so that that person is like, I don't make it very difficult for who the target audience is. Because the value that they continually, consistently offer me is so good is for your life. You need to know how to deliver to that target audience to the content on your channel. You also need to know the value proposition. And that answers the question, why does that person care? You know, so you know who cares, but who cares? Who is it that cares about your YouTube channel? You need to make that very specific because you need to make somebody need to know what you're delivering for your target audience to consume from it. I don't want you to nail down those 2 things and then third, feel like, this channel's for me, I'm so glad I found this channel, like,
this person is exactly addressing the problem that you should return that value. You need to do that. If you just have a general single motivating or blogging and don't know who it is or exactly that person, like, I don't think it becomes difficult. Target audience because the value that they use is for you need to know how to deliver to that audience. The value that means to that person. Who cares? Who is it that cares how you do it? You need to make that specific because you need to make somebody target audience. I want you to feel like this changes for me. I'm like this person is addressing the problem that we should return that value. You need to do that. You just have a general single motivating blogging and don't know who it is or exactly that person. I don't think it becomes difficult. Target audience because the value that we use is for you. You need to know how to deliver to that audience. The value that means to that person. Who cares? Who is it that cares how you do it? You need to make that specific because you need to make somebody like this changes for me. I'm like this person is addressing the problem that we should return that value. You need to do that. You just have a general single motivating blogging and don't know who it is or that person. I don't think it becomes difficult. Target audience because the value that you use is for you. You need to know how to deliver to that audience. The value that means to who cares? Who is it that cares how you do it? You need to make that specific because you need to make somebody like this changes for me. I'm like this person is addressing the problem that we should return that value. You need to do that. You just have a general single motivating blogging and don't know who it is or that person. I don't think it becomes difficult. Target audience because the value that you use who cares? Who is it that cares how you do it? You need to make that specific because you need to make somebody like this changes for me. I'm like this person is addressing the problem that we should return that value. You need to do that. You just have a general single motivating blogging and don't know who it is or that person. I don't think it becomes difficult. Target audience because the value that you use who cares? Who is it that cares how you do it? You need to make that specific because you need to make somebody like this changes for me. I'm like this person is addressing the problem that we should return that value. You need to do that. You just have a general single motivating blogging and don't know who it is or that person. I don't think
Think about this. Answer these questions. Now, implement that into your channel. Like each day, I give you a teaching, I give you a task that you do based on the teaching that outlines the how and the why behind it. And then I say, here's what you're going to do. And then third, it gives you additional resources that you can dig into if you want to kind of take that teaching to the next level and kind of dig into it a little bit more. And so I do that all throughout the channel strategy section, and then also heading into the second section of the 30 days, which is your search and discovery strategy. Now, optimizing your channel and getting it all tip-top shape so it's really stickable and highly subscribable actually doesn't help you at all if no one's even finding your content in the first place. So first section is like, let's move in. Let's get this thing all ready to present to the public. And then after like your house is in order, now let's invite the guests over. And that's what the search and discovery is partly about. Now, we talk a lot about the optimization for search, and we talk about different things like titles and metadata and tags and descriptions and caption files and all that kind of stuff that I know a lot of you guys are familiar with. But I don't think a lot of us are thinking about how do we use these things strategically together. I think we're just thinking about them all as like these individual like little things like I've got to do. But
I'm a big boy, I'm a big girl. But when it comes to praising the Lord, you need to be radical. You need to be crazy and on fire. Hallelujah! Amen. Say, oh, vale, you cannot clap. Ah, see you let me hear you. Now say